too small, I got big dreams. You just starting, I'm way ahead at the end scenes. Started reading and dodging all
Anything
the
for our
money
guys.
like a Spotify boy. I got 10 streams. And I'm still looking for more. My people, they got a soul. I'm putting that on the Lord. Ain't accepting, ignore.
All right, hell yeah. Okay, are you ready to go? All right. Hello and welcome to the second episode of the Real Talk podcast. Unfortunately, Kasia couldn't be with us here today, but we have a very special guest, Julian Szumowski. Say hello, Julian.
Hello, everyone.
Julian is awesome. We've been talking to him here a little bit before the show started. And Julian, if you don't mind, I would love to introduce you. I did my homework on you. Don't look at my notes, though. Okay. I don't want you to be spoiled. I don't want you to spoil what's going to happen later in the show. But don't get excited either. Like, nothing crazy is going to happen. Okay, so Julian was born in France. Correct me if I'm wrong in anything here.
Sure.
He was born in France, spent a lot of his... Actually, he was born in France. He wasn't there very long. Then he went to Warsaw, where he spent some of his childhood. But a lot of his childhood he spent in England and in Australia. Then you lived for 9 years in Poznan.
Yes.
Then for the last 5-ish years, you've been living in Warsaw again. Back to your roots. Your biggest claim to fame, if I can call it that, is your company which you founded, Business Boxing Polska. You're the founder of that.
My biggest claim to fame up until now, yeah.
Up until now? Okay. What's going to be the new claim of fame?
Time will tell, but the charity challenge project that I think has a lot of potential in Poland, that's a huge part of it, the white collar boxing, and that started...
So Business Boxing
Business boxing
is the same or different?
I would say, in general, charity challenges, so opportunities to
not only through
activate.
boxing.
Yeah, basically, it's raising money through some kind of action and challenge that you give someone. So the white collar boxing was the first charity challenge, and I still think it will be the biggest one. But there are other charity challenges that I want to create. One of them was the stand-up comedy challenge that we did last year. So giving people, preparing people to perform in front of a bigger group of people, workshops that end with a big performance. So that's also something that gives people a lot of adrenaline. And
a new endeavor that you're getting into now. This is a podcast about real estate. So today we're going to talk mostly about glamping, right? Which is something... But before we get into that, I wanted to mention that Business Boxing Polska, and correct me again if I'm wrong with this figure, but over the last 6 years has raised over 1 million zloty for charity. And it's not strictly a charity organization, right?
We're not a charity. We're an organization that promotes recreational boxing, promotes a healthy lifestyle, promotes... doing something good for the community through raising money for charity. And in Poznan at the last gala in October the 3rd, I believe, just before the pandemic hit us for the second or third time, we raised 140,000 Zs at a gala where I had no major politician, or I didn't really have a big star. We raised over 150,000 Zs. And
Z's as in the Polish currency.
I like that. I don't. What is Z's? I like Z's. And that was the second best result we've ever had. So we surpassed the 1 million zloty or Z mark, and our whole sum is 1,045,000 Z's raised for different charities, which I think is a big result. And hopefully it's the first million of many more to come.
That's freaking awesome. If that doesn't deserve a
round of applause,
I don't know what does. Awesome, man. Okay. Beyond that, you're also a stand-up comedian, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm not a stand-up comedian. I'm a stand-up comedy enthusiast.
Okay.
We got into stand-up comedy maybe nearly 10 years ago. Me and my brothers.
Okay.
There's 3 of us.
All right.
The Szumowski brothers. We even did a few shows. The Flying Szumowski brothers. We performed in 3 different cities.
Yeah.
And I had this idea of changing from the Szumowski brothers to the Szumowski brothers. I thought that would be a catchy
catchy
name
for sure.
But the good thing is from something that we were passionate about. My youngest brother is quite a well-known comedian.
I know
today.
because when
he's got like 4 or 5 million views on YouTube, and he performs in English and Polish, but Most recently, he's become very famous because of his Polish exploits.
Yeah. When I looked up Julian on YouTube,
he's the first.
He's the first thing that came up. Yeah.
That's right. When you said your biggest claim to fame. I was thinking, is he going to mention my younger brother? But luckily you didn't. You mentioned the white collar.
No, of course.
Thank you so much.
That's your biggest claim to it. Unless you introduce yourself as Peter's brother.
A lot of people have started introducing me like that, and my ego can't take it anymore.
In that video, he says that everyone introduces him as your brother because you're the good-looking one, apparently.
Yeah, I'm kind of tired of that label as well. It's like I've got more to offer than
just your good looks.
My comparison to his looks, because that's the only time I do come out good looking.
We'll steer clear of that. You're Julian, and you're unique, and you're yourself, and that's it.
Thank you.
All right. You also give English lessons, because as we can hear, you speak at a native level, and you've taught people, among others, the president of Poznań,
the
city
mayor of
we're in
Poznań.
right now.
I also taught most recently Jan Błachowicz, who is the UFC champion now. He's known around the whole world now. Also, the future champion, Mateusz Gamrot. I have English conversations with them. I had conversations with Juras, other UFC fighters, also football players. It was
for our American viewers, soccer, right?
Soccer players, from Legia Warsaw. So, that's always been a way for me to get to know really interesting people. I don't, I don't teach English on a full-time level, but I do have conversations. I'm able to have conversations with really interesting people through the use of English and by helping them get more confident with their vocabulary. I'm not a specialist in teaching grammar, but I will help people, open up and start talking, and I will make them realize that what they have is absolutely enough to communicate, because you only need 200, 300 words, and a lot of the time they don't realize that they have those words.
So true. I feel like it's a thing with Polish people. They want to be perfect, and they're afraid to talk, but you just got to talk.
The perfectionism is actually limiting them.
Right, exactly. All right, so Julian, stand-up comedy enthusiast, brother of a very famous
white collar boxing promoter,
white collar boxing,
charity challenge, visionary,
sure,
visionary,
and so all of this, English teacher, all of this stuff, and recently glamping organizer.
Glamping.
Tell us about the glamping. What do you do?
Glamping project manager.
Okay. So tell us about it. So what does it look like now?
So let me tell you the idea. I found out. I came across glamping about 6 months ago, maybe 8 months ago, in the autumn of 2020.
Yeah.
It was a depressing time for everyone that was being closed down indoors. And,
right.
And I remember thinking, I had a friend who owned a lot of land outside of Warsaw. I still do, and this was an old kind of recreational center that had has a lake. It's in the woods, and he opened up like a theme park there.
Okay.
But there were it was an old camping site where there were a lot of these old ruined buildings.
Okay. And that was like a good thing?
I remember looking at that and thinking this could be more.
Okay.
And I didn't really have an idea for it, but the owner of the theme park actually told me that, listen, you should check this. If you're interested in that, you should check out this place that he visited recently. He was in Jordan, and he saw these, he stayed in these spherical tents that look like something from space.
Okay.
And he showed me pictures of them, and I saw them, and I thought, wow, that looks amazing. I wonder how many of these are in Poland. And I started doing some research, and I realized that there's a couple of these glamping spots. So glamping is glamorous camping, yeah?
Yeah.
So there were a few. So I started visiting them, and I went to the east of Poland first. And I saw...
You personally went to go to glamping sites.
I started seeing these sites. I
experience
got to see this. I got to see this for myself.
And you spent the night?
Yeah. So I went to this place in the east called Drzewak.pl, and they have these like what's the word? Tree houses. So as a kid, did you ever have a tree house?
Heck yeah! One time I tried to build a tree house with my friends, but like we weren't very handy, so it ended up being like a house on the ground next to the tree.
But tree houses in general, get people really excited because it's kind of connecting you to your childhood.
Right.
That dream of being independent from your parents. And being able to do whatever you wanted is appealing. So I saw these amazing places in the east of Poland. And these houses were like, there was like a sauna. It was 3-4 meters above the ground. And there was like a sauna inside. There was a kitchen, and this was, you could tell they...
In this tree house? There's a sauna? No way. Okay.
And there's like 5 of these tree houses next to each other.
So working electricity, plumbing, all that? Yeah.
Everything.
Okay.
And at the same time, what was very interesting was it was very difficult to find a free night.
Right.
So I called them up and I asked them, have they got anything for free? And they pretty much told me, call us back in 3 months.
Yeah.
And then she called me back 2 days later and she said, listen, I have a free night.
Yeah.
Somebody just cancelled.
Free as in available?
Yeah. Would you be interested? And I said, let's do it. And it was like a random Tuesday and I said, let's go. So I went there and I really liked it, and I could tell that this was something that you could duplicate in other places. There was nothing special about that area, apart from the fact it was in the forest and it was on top of a hill. So when you when you went out on the terrace, you really felt like you were in the middle of a forest, but you're right you're high in the trees.
Yeah.
So I thought, that's something we have this forest outside of Warsaw. That's something we could easily try to replicate.
Yeah.
And then I went to this other place in another part of Poland where I had the opportunity to stay in a spherical tent. It's in Panderosa. It's between Kołobrzeg and Poznań. It's 2 hours drive to the north.
Okay.
And that's when I realized, these spherical things are amazing because it's nice and warm inside. They had a fireplace outside. They had like a jacuzzi outside. It was amazing.
Okay.
I knew that these type of tents would work very well in that area outside of Warsaw because I knew the location of being outside of Warsaw meant we had the biggest amount, the richest clientele and the most populated city just outside. So the location's great. I don't have to take people, to a place where to the middle of nowhere. I just have to put this here because there's already a big group of people visiting this theme park, visiting that lake.
So the theme park is still there?
Yeah, the theme park's still there, and it's an amazing place that has replicas from famous films. Okay. So it's like the DeLorean Batmobile, Ghostbusters, Scooby-Doo, Zigzag, any famous car you can think of. Do
you have a Facebook page or something?
It's called dzielnicafilmowa.pl.
We'll give you a link in the description.
Planeta Zalesie. So that's become really popular in the last couple of years, and we saw that there's huge crowds going there. So I think it was, in general, I think it was obvious that people were going to start looking for accommodation because people from different parts of Poland were coming there, not just people from Warsaw, and especially with kids. So I wanted to build, so I saw an idea, but I didn't have the money. So the first thing I had to do was create a business plan. And
okay, so you visited these places, and you decided that these spherical things are the best. Like they're the bee's knees. You got to have this in your life. Do you have any experience like vacation rentals? Do you rent any
Zero.
kind of apartment?
I worked in hotels in England for a couple of years, so I was familiar with customer service, and I've always been a people's person. Plac Zalesie Górne, the place where we have the glamping site, is the place I grew up in for a couple of years. So I knew that my parents live close by. I travel there quite often. It's ideal.
Right. Okay.
It's ideal.
So, but zero experience in investing in real estate or renting properties or anything, and you just started glamping yourself. Yeah. You thought it was awesome.
Yep.
And you just decided,
yes,
I'm gonna make a business.
Yeah, I want to be. Awesome. I want to be a part of this.
Okay, and so.
I have a vision. Now it's time to realize the vision.
All right, great. So then what happened? So that was about a year ago.
That was about 9 months ago.
Okay.
8 months ago. So the first thing I had to do was so the land that I was originally interested in that had these old camping houses. I was interested in that, but somebody beat me to it.
Okay.
And took over that land.
Yeah.
I was really disappointed.
Did they start doing the same thing?
Yeah, they started putting normal kind of houses, but like new ones.
That's also very popular.
So like
in Poland.
module houses, you could call them.
Okay.
Yeah? Whereas I was interested in the spherical tents, and the owner of the land told me, listen, I've already, made a deal with somebody else, but I can show you another bit of land that you might be interested in. And I was kind of like disappointed, and I was thinking, oh, this land's going to be crap.
Right.
I wanted that one. And then he showed me another bit of land that was actually a lot better.
Okay.
Because it was in a quieter place. It was closer to the water, and it has this beautiful kind of hill that divides the land into two parts.
Awesome.
And you had these old leftovers of like structures made from cement, so you could tell whether there was an old house.
Okay.
That were perfect for building terraces on them, and then
All right.
on top of the terrace you would build the
spherical
tent. Yeah. So in like October, November, I started.
By the way, so you started building them?
No, I started.
Okay.
We had to deal with the land. It was very raw.
Okay. Yeah.
It was very raw. So it was about, we had to start, cutting, basically cleaning the
from like a landscape perspective. It's just overgrown.
Me and a machete, a couple
right.
of friends, and just chopping down bushes and small trees.
All right, awesome.
And it was kind of like, it was
literally or
literally,
awesome.
absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Man, you should have invited me. I wish I had known.
Yeah, listen, there's still a lot of work there if you want to swing by. So it was basically, we had to go into a site that had not functioned for 30, 40 years.
Yeah.
And we had to start trying to, organize the place, clean the place up. I knew we would have to, modernize the sewage system.
Okay.
There was no maps of what used to exist there.
Yeah.
They were lost. So
Okay.
we had to modernize the sewage system. We had to organize water. We had to sort out electricity. There's no electricity there. We had to put a fence around it. And these were all, massive costs that I didn't have money for. But I was able to start to get a couple of friends, build get a nice fireplace going in the autumn and December cold months, and start chopping away and trying to organize the land.
Okay, so this sounds like a lot like a house, because glamorous camping.
Yeah.
When I think camping, I'm thinking, I'm probably most people have at some point in their life been camping. You're thinking of a thin wall
camping
tent.
in a wet tent during rain.
Yeah.
That's what camping, some people think of it. So glamping is about being close to nature, but at the same time being super comfortable.
Okay, but so in this, when you were either now in yours or in the ones that you visited before, do you feel more closer to nature than you do in a house?
Absolutely.
Yeah?
Absolutely, because the tents themselves have a huge kind of like...
it's a big difference.
It's not a small window. You have like a massive... The front of the tent has like 10 square meters of see-through material.
Okay.
So that means there's a lot of light coming in, and you can be lying down on a double
But it's a
bed.
tent. It's like fabric.
It is. But you just have that feeling of being in the middle of a forest.
Okay.
And with these tents, you can set them up in different places. You don't need a permit, which is a big thing.
Okay.
And you don't need to build an amazing structure. You can put these spherical tents work in events as well. So people set them up.
Okay.
2 days later, they're gone.
All right.
Whereas this, we're using the same spherical tents, but we want them to be there all year round.
And is it? Can we talk about the cost a little bit?
Sure.
Are these tents like a significant cost, or are the more significant costs still installing the sewage and the plumbing?
That's a bigger cost, but depends
sewage
how
and the plumbing.
many tents you have.
Yeah.
Depends how many tents you have. But I contacted a few Polish companies that build these things, and we made a decision to build one of these Polish with tents that was built in Poland. And,
Okay.
we have that tent that has been set up now.
And how many did you do?
That's just one.
Oh, so you did one. So currently you have one and you're renting it?
No, we are not renting it yet. We have one that we are still building, and
Okay.
we have 11 tents that we have ordered from China.
Okay.
So we are still in the.
So you're in the process
We're still in the building process.
Got you. And so what's the plan? Like the marketing? Do you already have a lot of interest?
We have a lot of questions, but we're not ready to. We've set up the whole land. The land's been prepared, and before the land was prepared, my biggest issue was finding money for the whole thing, because I knew I needed, like $1 million.
And can you tell us a little bit about that? How did you find it?
Yeah, I was looking for about $1 million Z's, and I was quite optimistic about finding an investor because when I started doing a business plan, I realized that the return it can be made in about 3 years.
Okay.
So if we're renting the land for 12 years, you can multiply your money times 4.
Okay.
That was my optimistic way.
And did you compare that to a traditional Airbnb? Well, Airbnb is not very traditional, but a more traditional like rental for vacation by the sea or something?
Do you know what? I never really looked at those things because I knew that.
Julian, you just love this. You just had to do the tent.
Yeah. I saw a vision and I
this.
knew this is going to work.
Yeah.
And
okay.
I just believed in it straight away, and I believed that I had I knew him. I know I have this idea, and now I'm gonna find a.
You're gonna make it happen.
I'm gonna connect these dots.
Right.
I saw the dots that were there to be connected. I don't know anything about some rental house in the seaside. I don't.
Right.
Why should I go out of my comfort? Why? This is right here in front of me.
Right. Okay.
So I got to use and connect these dots. So I knew that the third dot. So I had Rafael, the owner of the land. I had the spherical tent, I had the land, and I had the deal with him. So now I needed an investor. I needed the fourth kind of dot. And the fourth dot that I saw in front of me were the Legia players that I taught English.
Yeah.
And I knew they have a lot of money.
Okay.
And they're playing football, and maybe they'd be interested in investing into something that is cool.
Yeah.
Because that's something you can talk about with. You can invite your friends.
Yeah.
We're not talking about investing.
Hey, I got a tent over just outside Warsaw.
We're
freaking awesome.
We're not talking about investing into 10 tons of potatoes from the Ukraine that we're going to transport to Poland. We're talking about something really
I got 10 tons of potatoes in a truck.
Yeah,
you want to come see?
20% margin on them. This is like a really cool tent in the middle of a forest that you can invite people to. You can have parties. You can invite girls to, whatever.
Right.
So this is something really cool. So I had a Legia player that I knew that would be interested in this, and I built a whole business plan around that. And I showed him the whole thing, and we started having conversations, and
he was into it.
He was into it, but he flaked out.
Oh no!
In the end, he said he's not interested because, in fact,
that happens a lot with investing. Right.
He basically he had a lot of money saved up, but he had never even bought his own flat.
Okay.
So he had zero business experience.
Right.
I could have been, selling him a Bitcoin for, $10,000 when it was worth 30,000, and he wouldn't have seen the opportunity.
Okay, gotcha.
So I realized it wasn't, it wasn't my fault. It was just the fact that he just wasn't ready for it.
Yeah.
But I had the whole business plan ready by then, so I'd done a lot of the work.
All right.
And what I could.
Yeah, because you're building. You're still realizing this vision.
Yeah, because,
so what happened then?
Because very often, when you have a dream, you if it activates you and you do something, you find yourself, once you've done it, and even if that door didn't open the one that you wanted to open, you find yourself in a place where you see other doors. But you wouldn't have been able to see those doors had you not done any of the work before, prior to that.
Of course.
So I saw, so I started, so after that, the investor flaked out and rejected the idea. I started getting into saunas. We were actually talking about this today. So I was visiting a lot of the saunas outside of Warsaw, especially when the swimming pools were closed, and I was visiting these outdoor saunas near lakes and near rivers. And me and my younger brother, the comedian, we started talking about how cool would it be to have a sauna on that land, and maybe instead of starting with the glamping, we should start with building a sauna there. The lake's really close. The sauna's like 40,000 Z's. Mm-hmm. That's not, my bro had some money saved up, and we were thinking, let's build a community of people that would be.
Can you tell how much is a tent to build a tent?
The tent itself, the structure, and the most basic parts of the tent are a cost of, 40,000 Z's, 50,000 Z's, but the terrace.
Right.
And all the other
the
extra
plumbing
things, that makes it at least 100,000.
Okay, altogether.
Yeah, at least.
And the tent though, like worst case scenario, you can just put it together and take it somewhere else.
Yeah.
So the investment in the plumbing and stuff that's stuck, but the tent you can take anywhere.
Yes.
And I was gonna ask, I forgot what I was gonna ask. Keep going. I'm sorry.
So my brother said, well, let's get into these saunas. So I started doing some work around the saunas, and had this business plan before, and I remember, we thought we need insurance. You know? And I remember I thought, well, I'm going to have to send this. I'm going to send it to a friend who does insurance. I've not seen him for a while, but I sent him the business plan, and I said, Pavel, can you find out what the insurance is with the saunas and so on?
Yeah.
And I didn't want to explain the whole sauna thing and where it is, so I sent him I attached the business plan, but I wanted to know about the insurance.
Yeah.
Anyway, he calls me up and he said, dude, you sent me this business plan, yeah? Are you still looking for an investor? And I said, yeah. And he goes, how much are you asking? How much percent do you want in the business? And before I was asking for like 20-30%, and this time I said, I want 40, And he goes, well, let's meet up, because I've been looking for I've had funds for about a year or two from a person that's looking into a.
So it was a complete accident.
It was an accident, and then
that's awesome.
And then that turned into fruition,
and so that's still active to today.
Yeah,
it's working out.
We a couple of weeks after I sent him that business deal, I made the biggest deal of a lifetime.
Dang.
Up until now, of course, and I was able to find a big investor who put his money into the project. We had to set up a limited company. We had to come up with a name and logo, website, and vision, and so on. And so I can't say this is. We have all these guests and it's great. I'm going to have to come back here in 6 months.
Yeah, I hope you'll be back on the show. Yeah.
What happened and about more of the challenges in front of us. But I think the most important thing was we were able to find the money. We signed the agreement for the land for 12 years. We ordered. We made a big order from China for these tents.
Yeah. Okay. Can I slow you down a little bit? So since we can't talk about results yet, can you talk to us about the hurdles of getting into this? If someone was trying to start their own glamping business, what are the biggest? It takes a specific type of person, first of all, to even take this kind of, because it's a big risk, right?
I didn't think it was a risk.
Do you feel?
I would have done it if it was a risk. I didn't think it was a risk. I think I looked at the numbers. I looked at the glamping sites. I saw that everywhere they're charging 500 Zs per night at least. Some of these places you can only go there for 2-3 nights minimum, and I saw it's very difficult to find a place there. So I mean, it wasn't a risk. I just saw that this is something that has huge potential.
Right.
And at the same time, I saw the dots. I said, look, I know him. He's got this land here. He can lend me this land. This is in a great location. I'm going to put this here. Now I need to find the investment. So it's just about seeing the dots and connecting them.
Right.
I think that I think, and I knew I had a certain set of cards.
So you feel very confident in the numbers.
I felt like I had certain cards here that I came to have. And I felt like these cards are too good not to.
But you're not worried.
Game now.
You're not worried that you're gonna have everything all set up, ready to go, and then you put out an advertisement and no one's responding, no one's coming.
Absolutely not, because I know I can see from the
interest in other sides.
Very small conversations. We're not even posting this. I can see how excited people are about it.
Right.
I said, what's this? Or when can we stay here? And I'm getting a lot of feedback without even trying to promote this. I've not made any effort to promote this. I made a comment on Facebook on a random fan page when somebody local asked, what is this tent that is being set up? Because we set it up. And it was a random person. I wrote, this is going to be a glamping site. Come back to us in July. And I had like 12 people like my comment. Yeah, I didn't.
Total strangers.
I just wanted to inform someone about it.
Yeah,
I saw 12 people like my comment. So the feedback's there, and I think a big issue is who you work with in the project, because
it all comes down to the people.
It all comes down, and it all comes down to the relationship you have with that person and the decisions you have to make, and you need to do it with a person that you can compromise with, and you can have a solid conversation. And sometimes when you argue with someone, it's you find the middle ground, and usually.
Do you have any pictures that you can show us right now?
I do on my phone.
And your phone is?
My phone's here. All right. You want to see this, or
I'd love to
show it to?
If you can send it to in an email or something.
Sure. I'll just show you a small video of one of the tents. It doesn't look so. Yeah, that's the
and that's yours.
Yeah,
that's what you guys are setting up.
So we have the terrace here. It's made of the decision to what wood to have on it and so on. And so there's a door from behind, and
That's freaking cool.
The one thing I love about this place is just sitting there and just when it's quiet, just listening to the birds, just being among nature.
Yeah. And so, what about? I mean, Poland is a pretty nice climate, especially in the summer where it's warm during the day but very cool at night. Do these things have air conditioning or heating?
We have floor heating.
Yeah.
But I realized that you see, it's a matter of predicting certain things, but I believe that in July, August, September, we will make 50% of the turnover. Okay. That's my guess.
Right.
June, let's say June, July, August, yeah? Those 3 months, I believe we will make 50% of the turnover, and we're not gonna be able to do anything in June. Probably we'll start in August, so it's painful to kind of like, these are the best months. We're not ready yet.
Yeah.
It's a little bit frustrating, but we're looking at the whole 12 years.
How long?
12-year cycle.
So you know a lot now because you're almost set up with a tent. So what kind of time span are you looking at?
We've made a big order from China. We've ordered like 11 tents. Mm-hmm. We've ordered electric bikes and things like this.
So like more activities to do. Okay.
Yeah. We want to have like a cafeteria.
And a restaurant? Or
no, we're not allowed to have a restaurant.
Okay.
There's other restaurants there. But yes, so this is going to arrive within 14 days. So once that hits, there's going to be a lot of like, we need to get this, ready as soon as possible. Okay. And we're going to be in a rush to set up the whole thing.
Okay, gotcha. So if your friend was like, hey, I love this, and what can you tell me? I want to open this in the United States. What would you tell them?
If you're doing it in America, I'll help you, but not if you're doing it within 50 kilometers of my glamping site.
Gotcha.
Actually, funnily enough, I was talking to a friend from Australia recently, and I was saying, hey, dude, check this out. This is what I'm doing. And he goes, dude, this thing would be great in Australia.
Okay.
And I said, and he's a carpenter.
Yeah.
So he works with wood. And I said, bro, 50% of this operation is work with wood.
Yeah.
So I would love to, once we set up, and we've ordered this from China, that's nothing, you can easily duplicate this, and we can have like a sister glamping site or a brother glamping site outside of Sydney. I'd love to do that. The only problem with Australia is the wildlife's a little bit more dangerous than in Poland.
The snakes and the scorpions.
I wouldn't be so. I think they still do camping.
I think the assurance is going to be a lot higher there.
Spiders, snakes, and so on.
Yeah.
I feel much more.
But you spent a lot of your childhood in Australia, right?
I did, but people live in cities,
Yeah, and it's not as prevalent. Like you don't wake up to a spider next to you.
No, you do. You do? I had many dangerous spiders around me, but it's more of a phobia, I think they're all used to it. You have these kind of like gardening people that have these sticks that grab the snakes, or you've got the sprays for the spiders and so on.
Oh my god!
But I think the glamping would be really successful there and so on. So it'd be great if we could set up a glamping site in Australia, and I would travel there for the December, January, February months to help set up a site out there.
I can see you're very passionate about this. You love this, yeah. You really want it to happen.
Listen, I mean, I've not.
How do you? My question is, how do you weigh that against because at the end of the day, it's an investment, right?
Yeah.
You need to make money off of this.
Yeah.
So how do you weigh how do you not let your I really want this, I love this get in the way of I need to make money?
Well, time will tell, obviously, how much money we make on this. But I just think, from an Instagram point of view, this thing is like
so Instagram worthy.
It is.
I can already see all the
people. Everybody that will go there will post a picture of it easily. So you can have a lot of influencers that will go there, and you just see the whole outdoor movement for like building module houses, the glamping. That's going to be booming for the next couple of years.
Have you considered something like influencer marketing for?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I have a lot of friends in Warsaw who, through the white collar boxing, that I believe can help.
Right.
You give them a free night. They post some pictures and so on, and I'm feeling pretty confident about it.
All right. Well, Julian, unless there's something else you want to talk about, I think we should wrap it up for today. It's been an absolute huge pleasure to have you here. You're an awesome guy. What do you want people to check out?
Planetaglamping.pl. That's our website. We're going to be on Instagram, Facebook, and we're going to have a website where you'll be able to make reservations. Obviously, if you can contact us directly instead of doing it through booking. hopefully will be open from August. And I think it'll be the site will develop through the acquisition of saunas, and I think we're going to try to maybe build some of these tree houses. There's a beautiful bit of land, and I just think outside of Warsaw nothing like that exists. And I'm also getting feedback. I was recently in Kraków, and they were telling me how I should definitely put it on the map of campers. Like in general campers.
What is that? There's a map of campers?
No, campers.
Camping sites?
No. A camp. When I say camper, I mean kind of like the mobile.
Right.
Camper, yeah.
Yeah.
So
like a car, like a big camper.
That has those things.
Yeah.
Have there's been like 400%
growth of that.
Growth in selling campers in Poland, and
in the last year or what?
In the last 2 years.
Okay.
Because people want to be independent.
Okay.
Yeah, so they want to travel.
Van life.
So they want van life. They want to travel with their family. They don't want to be in an all-inclusive hotel and eat in a canteen where there's 500 people every day.
Right.
So they want to be independent, right? So those campers, there's been a massive boom in the sale of campers.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of groups forming and talking about which way, if people from the south, from the mountains, want to go to the seaside, they have to stop at some camping sites.
Yeah.
So a lot of people are telling me you should have space for campers on your glamping site so that people can stop there and come and visit you.
Okay.
So that's another thing that I believe will be growing, the need for independence and people buying campers and van life and being in smaller groups of people that kind of experience travel together.
Julian, I wish you all the best of luck. I hope you'll come back on the show in 6 months or a year or something.
You guys should buy a camper and come and visit me.
I don't know if I'm buying I'm trying to buy an apartment right now. I have like zero money, but I'd love to visit you for sure when it happens. Let's
do a podcast. I should probably do podcast.
We could do it.
I think I was thinking about doing like a podcast with my guests in the glamping place, but we'll see how it goes, man. So next couple of months we'll probably answer a lot of these questions that we have.
Right.
But I'm looking forward to realizing the goal.
I'm looking forward to realizing it too. Julian, thank you so much for being on the show. It was great to meet you. Thank you so much for watching this episode, the second episode of the Real Talk podcast. It was great to have you here watching with us. Thanks to Piotrek, thanks to everyone who helped make this show possible. We're sorry Kasia couldn't be here. She'll be here next time, hopefully. And we'll catch you that next time on the Real Talk podcast. Have a great day, everybody.
The Real Talk podcast.
There we go. A little voice bit for the next episode.
Just kicking down all the doors, guarantee you, boy, if I ask for it, it's gotta be real big. I gotta make it just for my kids and for their kids, just kids. That's wealth years and years. Promise my brother soon as he out and finish this bid, we finna do it bigger than anybody ever did. The odds is real big, jobs that's real big. Satan trying a little, my God is real big. Stayed up on the grind on the cars is real big. I gotta do it big, the only way that I can live. And I promise I'm trying to.